Right, we get started. So, we've talked about worker roles, we've talked about storage, we've talked about all these lovely things. All very nice and up in the air. How would you actually make an application that could make use of these facilities? So one of the things I talked about was a kind of use once application, PST importer. So, I don't know how many people, I know there are at least 2 people in here who understand how PST importer works. But what I'll do is I'll go over kind of the architecture of how it works currently, and then we'll see how we can translate that to the cloud. To the cloud, hey? Right, so, say we have a bunch of computers on a network. What we have is we have the PST importer up here. We have a PST importer service, and we have a local SQLite database. On each of these computers, we have a small task that connects to the service, which talks to the database, which gives back the settings about when you're going to search for PSTs, what you're going to do. We also have a UI, which actually communicates to the database and stores the settings. So we have these things coming in. When you actually want to import, this will request that each computer uploads its PST file, and then the service will go through the PST files and import them into Exchange. Those
are angel wings.
They're angel wings, yes. So that's kind of PST importer, the product that we've made. Okay? So, if we were to turn this into a cloud application, what have we got? You want to start? We've got a service, so we've got a worker role. Yeah? So we've got the PST worker role. Okay? What else have we got? So we've got the computers. We'll leave them. We'll leave the little services as well. So we've got web role for the UI. Yep. So we've got the UI, which is now a web role. So we haven't got SQLite, but what we do have is we have SQL Azure. Yeah. Or a table. Yeah. Yep. So we can store our settings inside the table or in SQL Azure. Up to us. Right. So then we can have. So what do these all talk to? So these must connect to something.
Web service.
Okay. So again, we'll say we've got a web service. Yeah. Which is our. And they communicate there. The web service talks to our storage. And then we say, okay, we'd like to import. So what do these services do? Sorry? So what have we got? We got basically this has a PST file, which is a large file, and it needs to say, look, here it is, get going.
We need storage.
Yeah. So you're uploading blobs. So you've got your PST file, which goes into your. How do you store a blob? Which goes into your blob. Okay. But what's doing it? So again, you put an entry on a queue. So we have our queue. So it uploads the file and says, I've finished uploading the file. The file's there. Yeah? So now we've got a queue with files, blobs, so we need something. Worker roles. Yeah? So we have our importer, worker role, which is pulling things off the queue, taking the files out of the blob, and putting them into Exchange. And we can have as many of these as we like. So you can see that actually PST Importer lends itself really nicely as a cloud application because it's single shot. It can need quite a lot of processing power. It can do things in parallel. You've got multiple interfaces. You can see how all this stuff can tie together in a real life application. This isn't the program we created, sadly. It'd be quite nice though.
The UI would be looking at the queue performance stages as well.
Yep. Yeah.
So how scalable are the queues then? I guess the queues.
The queues will just keep going.
There's no reason why you want to use 2 queues to speed it.
No, I mean you're not going to be at transaction limits with this kind of application. Sorry, somebody raised their hand?
Yeah. Why do queues exist? I mean, why can't they just be a component of a workflow? Just like why aren't queues just?
Well, what would happen if your worker role, bear in mind, are not guaranteed to stay up.
Yeah.
Microsoft can take them down at any point. Queues are persistent, guaranteed queues.
And I guess they also have built-in retries and stuff.
This is the retries I was talking about with the kind of timeouts, requeuing, invisibility, and dequeue counts.
It's really got the benefit that you can connect as many workers to it as you want.
Yeah, so basically you can loosely couple. It's a great way to loosely couple a workflow, which PST Import is a naturally loosely coupled operation.
Queues are definitely always there. They're not going to be taken down.
No, your queue is always available because Microsoft will store your queue in multiple locations, but a single queue will only be stored on one partition.
Communication that your file is now loaded so you're safe to remove it from the machine. So that communication is the client. So at the moment this is a push operation.
Yeah.
So do they still have the service bus or something? Because you want to announce on the client.
At the moment, PST doesn't do it itself, but yes, you could. So you could have a queue that was going in the other direction to say, look, I'm done, and then I check in with with an ID or something, or put it in a table perhaps, and they say, am I finished? Yes, I can delete the file.
So I don't know if they did have the .NET service bus at one point.
I haven't talked about service bus, so I'm not covering that yet. I will talk about it, which is coming up in one of these slides.
Who pays for uploading blobs?
You pay for inbound data and data storage. So, actually, no, you don't pay for inbound data. I tell a lie. About a year ago, Microsoft announced that they were stopping charging for inbound data to Azure. A couple of days later, Amazon announced an exactly similar thing, so they're stopping charging for inbound data. So this upload of this large file, you don't actually pay. You only pay for the storage of that file for the duration it's in there.
It seems like it's open to abuse.
Oh yeah, but the more you put in there, you're paying. You know, great, fantastic, it's there. You know, it's not free.
So you're paying for the storage.
You're paying for the storage, so you're not paying for the inbound. You're paying for outbound still, both on Azure and Amazon, because of course they want to suck you in and then pay for you to get out.
It's a nice place to have to go if you leave your files there for a long time.
Sorry?
In that scenario, is the Exchange server necessarily in the cloud, or can it be?
It can be local, yeah. Yeah. So, you know, assuming you could punch a hole in your firewall, you know, you could do that. And I'll talk about ways of punching holes in firewalls in a second. Yeah? Does that make sense to people? All those disparate parts actually be used for an application.